I think it's actually quite well deserved because I've been following you on social media for the longest time, but especially lately. It seems like you've got a bit of pizzazz in your step.
Thank
and
you.
I was wondering if I could break that down a little with you. I found a lot of the content that you've been putting out to be super interesting. You've had some interesting angles, not only with your own business and content, but also relating to personal branding. It's kind of what I wanted to chat to you a little bit about today. Run me through that a little bit. What has the change been like on your end from a social media and digital content perspective? How do we land here?
I think we landed here because I was sick of seeing people self-promoting and cringing and feeling sorry for them, that they don't realize the impact that they're making on other people and the world. And not to say I'm doing it 100% correctly. I think we can all learn. But through looking at LinkedIn profiles and what people are putting out there, I just want to help the world and create one less Duis at a time. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on Suits and Sneakers.
You are absolutely
okay.
allowed.
It's not really brand compliant, but yeah, how to self-promote without making yourself and others cringe. And I've figured out a lot of tools and tips along the way of my journey, because I looked like a Duis when I first took over the role of CEO. I was in a sea of testosterone with all these male leaders in real estate who had been there a lot longer than me and were very astute. And here I am, the youngest, I'm a woman, and I'm the chairman's daughter, which is fun because it's seen as nepotism. And I had to prove myself, and I found myself wearing ties. And I looked like such a schmuck. Like, here I am, quite feminine. I'm 5'2", I'm petite. And there I am going to events or photo shoots wearing ties. And I thought to myself, what am I doing? I'm trying to turn to filters. And I thought to myself, I deserve to be here, as do a lot of people in positions. And the work that they're doing is incredible. But I was turning to filters, and I learned through my journey to turn to foundations. And that's where people are actually really making waves, but they're not celebrating them. I feel like people are celebrating what's not important, what actually diminishes them, like hashtag humbled and blessed. And I think to myself, would Nelson Mandela ever say, I feel humbled, or hashtag humbled? We're doing it because we think it's right, but it's diminishing us. And then we feel too scared to actually celebrate our wins. And people want to celebrate wins. I don't know if you ever saw Snoop Dogg's interview when he won. Oh no, he got his hand on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the star and his hand. And he did this speech where it was actually mind-blowing. He said, I would like to thank, and you thought he was going to, speak of his family and this one and that one. And he says, I would like to thank me. I'd like to thank me for the hours that I put in, for the weekends that I put in, for the holidays that I sacrificed. And people went mad for it because it was authentic. And we can lead from a place of authentic confidence. This idea, I hate the word imposter syndrome. I think it's overused. I experienced, when I was wearing ties, a crisis of confidence. And the acronym that I use for that is a COC. And I have people coming up to me saying, you're the cock lady, which again is a crisis of confidence. It's not what you're thinking of, but people remember it. And I'd rather people say, I'm having a cock, rather than I'm feeling like an imposter, And I think it's a playful way and a less fake way of looking at things. So that's been my journey. And I'm really trying to help others turn to actually their wins, celebrate their wins. And there is a time and a place for puffery, like if you're in the bush and you encounter a black rhino, like I did on foot.
Hold on. I mean, give us some context. There is some time for puffery, like if you're in the bush and you encounter a black rhino. Tell me what you mean.
100%. So I was just after COVID, I went to the bush, and we did a game walk. You know, the game walk, you're more exposed to animals and it's more adrenaline and it's more thrilling. And I used to love them, used to being the appropriate word here. And, you know, the game ranger takes you on this walk, but he gives you a protocol to follow. So he says to you, if I do this, means freeze. If I do, I've got to be careful. If I do this, it means back away. And, you know, if I do this, it means kiss your ass goodbye. He didn't say that, but I thought that was funny. But he then says, you know, keep still, back away slowly, and you've got to follow my hand signals. Now, how many times have people gone on game walks and never, you know, seen these signals? So we're walking through this brush and he says, oh, there's a black rhino track. Should we follow it? And, you know, we're in a crowd of people. So we all go, yeah, sure. Because, you know, we didn't want to be left out of photos, hashtag walking with black rhinos, you know. I mean, it's so ridiculous. You know, we're documenting everything. So, I mean, some people actually had their phones out. So we're walking single file and the guy goes, and we back away, and the black rhino starts charging him. And he puffs himself up, which they've been taught to do. And he holds his gun above him and he goes, hey, 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 hey. And the black rhino still comes. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to witness a murder. Oh my God. And then the black rhino's going to come for us. Oh my God. We all went white. And then he lifted up his gun even bigger and said, hey, hey. And he did it a few times, and the black rhino was still coming for him. And at the last, like, I really admire these game rangers. At the last possible second, probably 2 meters away, and I'm not lying, the rhino turns around and charges off because he saw him as big. Now, that's great. That's puffery. We were posturing because did we want to come face to face with the black rhino? Hell no. But, you know, walking with rhinos. And he was posturing, but he saved our lives. But the problem is most people are doing the rhino level posturing at Starbucks while having a cup of coffee and talking about themselves. And that's what we should be diminishing.
Wow. There is so much there. I want to kind of break into a lot of what you said. So correct me in case I got it wrong.
Yeah.
You're talking about, so crisis of confidence was one point that I think really lands, because you've made me remembering that. We tend to be acting in this humble mode when actually what we should be doing is celebrating our wins.
And you do that very well, Marky, you do. When your social media is so authentic. And that's why people follow it and they love you. You know, I remember during COVID, you were documenting your experience and how depressed you're feeling. And then, you know, I've seen you document so many authentic things and full marks to you. I'm not just saying this, you know, you do.
So run me through this, like how would people go about celebrating their wins? Because you said there's a place for puffery and posturing. So how do you get that balance right? Not acting humble, celebrating your wins authentically.
It's a very good question. So when we look at social media and when people are self-promoting, self-promotion is essential. Personal branding is more important now than ever. And I'm sure you'll agree with me because it's gone away from companies to people, and people have to self-promote. Entrepreneurs, you know.
Yeah, even positions within businesses and brands.
100%.
You work for a company, but
Richard Branson has, you know, the most fun times on social media, and he documents it. And people want to do business with those they like and trust, and you can create that through talking authentically.